Hey Dan K Show fans, for the first time in 2 months, count them, 2 months, Lucas and I are not traveling for an event. But Lucas, what do we do in our leisure time? Before we start with the three things, I went on a trip to Lexington, Kentucky for fun, and Lucas, what'd you do?
Well, Dan, you know, I took a weekend off from traveling to New England by traveling to New England for a wedding in Massachusetts.
So basically, Lucas and I, for 2 months straight, travel the country covering hockey. We get 1 weekend to not travel, and we both decide to travel the globe on our 1 weekend off. Apparently, we love it, and when it's USPHL related, we really, really do. Dan K Show coming at you next. 3 things will lead the way. Hey Dan K Show fans, it is time to get the show started as we do every week with Dan K's 3 things. Thing number 1, Dan K Show jinx? Did we jinx the IHC NCDC team? The one game we go to specifically cover IHC NCDC hockey, their home opener, their banner raising, they lose. Was it our fault? They're 13-1-0 this year. This team is undefeated in games not specifically covered by the Dan K Show. That's an official stat. You heard it here first. If this winning streak continues, we may have to apologize personally to Sean Tremblay. Thing number 2, Minnesota Melee. Minnesota aplenty in the Midwest. You got 3 Minnesota squads who are incredible on the ice this year. The Blue Ox, the Mullets, and of course those Moose. And we're going to have some Moose talk and some Minnesota talk coming up next on the show. Thing number 3 before we get that started though, is the embargo finally going to be lifted? The unofficial embargo on the Jersey Hitmen 16U Futures interview that these young men have been clamoring for. They've been reaching out and saying, Dan, you got to get the interview on the show. And I said, gentlemen, it's up to this man. I think he just might show it. But first, I think it's time for some Moose talk.
I think so, Dan.
Time for Moose talk. We're going to go into Minnesota. Let's talk these 3 Minnesota teams. You've got the Blue Ox in first place in the Minnesota Melee out there in the Midwest Division. They are 13-1-1. That's good for 27 points on the year. In second place, Lucas, is the Minnesota Moose. They are 13-3-0, and we got asked about them this week. And we got asked, did you see it? We got asked by Nasty on Twitter. We got asked by Yoka Kusep as well. These guys are all looking for us to talk Moose, and we promised them some Moose talk. But first, we're going to start with the Mullets. 9-6, 4th place right now, just behind the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings. Talk Mullet Talk for me this year, Lucas. Just how good have they been?
Well, they've been pretty good, Dan. You know, the Mullets, while they're in, I think, 4th place in that division, 3rd place out of the Minnesota teams, they are not that far behind, especially, you know, basically reaching the quarter pole this season here. You know, I'm looking at some of the stats on the Mullets, and I always like to come up with 1 or 2 things that really grab my eye when talking about a team. Yep. The first thing that grabs my eye when I talk about the Mullets is besides the hair.
Okay, got it.
Which is clearly a personal favorite of mine, is the amount of goals they've given up in the 3rd period of play. Yeah. They have given up only 6 goals in the 3rd period of play this entire season. Yep. When I look at that stat, I know that a team is going to go places in this season and go places in a division, because when they get a lead, that lead is there to stay. They are not likely to give up a lead that they've earned in the 1st and 2nd period of play. And the rest of their game has kind of built around that. A lot of their goals have been scored in the 1st and 2nd period. So here's a team that likes to come out of the gate early. Yep. They like to establish a lead, and then they like to shove the other team down, which is, I think, indicative of, you know, the division that they're in and the style of hockey that they're playing. I also really like the amount of assists that this team is putting together as I go back to the player stats here. You know, this team has not only been focusing on goals, Dan, they've been really focusing on assists as well. In fact, our top point getter, John Hansen, has 3 goals and 16 assists for 19 points. They've got 7 players in double digits. They're all rocking a big assist game. They're all close to double digits on assists. So when I'm looking at a team and I see shutdown 3rd period defense and a team that is not afraid to pass the puck, this is a team that can really start moving in that division.
Really can start moving, or as they would say in Minnesota, Moosin, which is of course the plural for meese or moose or mice. Moose? Moosin.
I think we'll have to check on that.
Check on the Moosin. We'll check on the pluralization, but we definitely will check on the Minnesota Moose squad right now. We're talking Moose. Hashtag Moose Talk. If you're watching at home, tweet to us and write back with your response to our hashtag Moose Talk. It's time for hashtag Moose Talk. Time for the Moose Talk. Let's get our antlers up, Lucas, and let's get ready to go. I'm looking at this Moose team, 13-3-0. Big thing that happened this weekend. 2-game sweep of the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings. These were River Kings that were in first. They got jumped by the Blue Hawks there. The Blue Hawks took the lead. And this team, this Minnesota Moose squad, as I start to cough almost here, I kind of hold it in. This Moose squad goes out there and sweeps them. 5-2, 2-0, 2 game wins there. Game 1 goes 5-2. Philip DeSava, young man out of Sweden, with 1 goal, 2 assists in Game 1. He gets 3 points. He comes back the next day in Game 2, a 2-0 win for the Minnesota Moose. 2 goals. Scores both goals for his squad. Philip DeSava with a huge weekend out of Sweden. A big-time game for him. And now let's talk about the goaltender Kevin Hale out of Palmer, Alaska. You want to talk about going from one cold environment to the other cold environment? This young man went from Palmer, Alaska, and he said, I'm going to go down to balmy Minnesota and play some hockey. This is a young man who's from 2 different hockey cultures now. He's got the Alaska culture. He's got the Minnesota culture. Young man knows how to win. 27 saves on 29 shots faced in Game 1. Guess what? In Game 2, he faces 29 shots against. Again, 29 saves. A big-time shutout in Game 2, shutting out a potent Wisconsin Rapids River Kings offense. Facing 29 shots, being this strong over a 2-day span, playing back-to-back dates. How big of a performance is that by Kevin Hale?
Well, it's crucial. We always talk about goaltenders and their role on the team, aside from the obvious. Obviously they're there to stop the puck, but they're there to be that last line of defense. And when you're facing 29 shots and you're stopping all of them, that is such a good sign to give in your goaltender. He's been great all season. That's his second shutout on the season.
Yep.
And he has a goals against average of 2.7. So it's a little bit higher than you normally expect. But because it's paired with such a potent offense, that reliability of that goaltender is a plus for this Moose team. They are someone that they can rely on, and they say to themselves, okay, we know what he can do back there. He can stop them all. He's done it before. He'll do it again. So if we go out there and we take some of the pressure off, we get on the forecheck, we put some goals in, we put some pucks in the back of the net, I think that this is a good team to be watching. And as they proved this weekend, definitely a formidable opponent for anyone in that division.
And, 2.70 goals against average, nothing to shake a stick at here. This young man's playing top talent day in, day out. He's playing a lot of back-to-backs, right? I always hold it to, in baseball, 6 innings pitched, 3 runs or less allowed. That's a quality start. 3 goals allowed in a hockey game, I'm counting that as a quality start, 3 or less. This young man's giving up less than 3. If you can score a goal a period, he's going to win you a game every time. That's what he's telling you. Gotta love a player like that. And you want to talk about his counterpart in net, his teammate. You look right next to him, and you look at Jacob Fry out of Renton, Washington. Another person getting those airline mileage, getting the mileage in come holiday time when he flies back home to see the family. Jacob Fry, he's 5-0 with a 1.24 goals against average off the bench for this team. This is a dynamic duo, to say the least. It's going to be a very difficult duo to deal with come playoff time. When you have 2 goaltenders who can play like this day in and day out, you're unstoppable. And we move into the scorers on this team. We move into the top scorers. I'm looking at 2 of them here. Leading the way is Dylan Gass, the captain for this squad. He put up 2 goals in that 5-2 win, that Game 1 win against Wisconsin Rapids this week. 13 goals, 11 assists, 24 points. This guy's got 4 game winners. Talk about big time, right? How important is it to have an El Capitan who scores game-winning goals?
Well, not only is he the captain, but he's also the game winner in a lot of these situations. Yeah. It gives a team a very clear leader that they can look to, someone that they can rally around. A lot of times teams need an on-ice general, and that's who this young man is. And when you talk about that dynamic duo in net, that Fry and Hale connection that they got going on there, to then have that one person on the opposite side of the ice that game in and game out is also going to deliver, can rally a team, can feed the puck where it needs to go. He's got 13 goals and 11 assists on the season.
Yep.
Just as likely to make the pass as he is to score the goal. You have an all-around team, and that's what's so important is to have a team that can do it all. That can have a starting goalie come out and shut him down. That can have a goalie come out off of the bench and shut him down. That can have a captain that can not only score but can lead his team down the ice. It's a very complete picture of hockey going on for the Moose.
And you look at Gavin Pro down there. He's got 9 goals, 15 assists, 23 points. And then assistant captain Jesse Anderson. This is a young man, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 points, who gets involved offensively. And like you said, if you're going to have a guy who scores the goal, you got to have a guy who creates the opportunity. And that's what this team has. They don't just have a goal scorer. They don't just have an opportunity creator. They've got them all out there on the ice. They've got 2 great goaltenders. They got defensive pairs that are out there making the big hit, having a big shift when they need to, taking up the ice time. This is a Minnesota Moose team that I think going forward is going to be difficult to deal with. But a team that's been difficult to deal with for them, Lucas, Minnesota Blue Ox, and this is a team that's in first place. They've taken 2 wins from this Moose team. Lucas almost had his head shaved because he thought the Moose would lose to the Blue Ox. The Moose gave them all they could, but the Blue Ox were able to steal the win and save Lucas's hair. And Lucas now a huge Blue Ox fan, so I'll let him start the way here on the Blue Ox chat.
Yeah, shout out to the Blue Ox for letting me keep my hair cut. I'm a man of my word. I would have cut off my hair, but I didn't have to, and now the flow continues. Look out for the All Flow team, I think, a little bit later this year. Sponsored, I think, by the Blue Ox. But this is a team that has been extremely, extremely successful so far this season. First place, 13-1-1 with 27 points on the year. Being led by just an enormously talented group of hockey players.
When you say enormously talented, enormous athletes on this team. I watched this Blue Ox team play when we were out in the Midwest. Huge team, very big team. A lot of size, a lot of skill, a lot of talent. This Blue Ox team was put together the right way.
Absolutely. I'm looking right now at the stats. You have 4 guys with double-digit assists. And fans of the show know that I love to talk about assists and the guys that help out the goal scorers. And I think that's because that's one of the most important parts of the game of hockey. It's not a sport where one guy can go blue line to blue line, pull up and take a shot, and you're going to win games like that.
Yeah,
it's about the team. It's about the organization. It's about moving the pieces around on the ice in a way to create those opportunities that won't always present themselves. So it's no coincidence, I think, that a team that relies so heavily on the passing game, on their size and on their strengths, is in first place right now. Now, do I think that can change because of how great this division is? We've been talking about it, for the last.
Oh yeah, this division is
minutes.
not decided yet. This division is nowhere near decided. It's a division that can go anyway. The River Kings are a strong team. They had a tough weekend where they ran into a buzzsaw in the Moose, and the same thing can happen to anyone, especially in these top 4 in that division. It could go anyway, and a line that for the Blue Ox though that I think if they're gonna make the run. These 2 forwards that are really, really playing well. I call them the finish them folks because they're both Finnish, Lucas. They're both from Finland. And you look at these 2 guys, you got Askari Halme, and don't look at the camera and shake your head no because that's a yes moment. Finish them, referencing Mortal Kombat any chance I can get for those of you who were born after Mortal Kombat came out. I apologize to you. There's going to be a movie coming out soon, though, so keep your eyes out. You'll learn all about it. It's historically accurate? Historically accurate?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so either. But Orlando Schurz is out of Switzerland, and then Christian Kraus, 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points. Christian Kraus, big time. The double K man coming out, scoring bunches. He's really involved in this offense. Askari Halme, 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points. Balance. That's the thing you're seeing in the Midwest. All these teams were mentioning balance. Minnesota squads, balanced scoring. Minnesota hockey, we all know it's some would say Graceland of hockey. Some people would argue that. Some people would not like that. But I mean, Minnesota, you got these 3 teams right now playing really well. Lucas, do you have any predictions for it?
I think the only prediction that I am confident in giving at this moment in time, Dan, is that this division is going to put out some great hockey as we move forward this season. these are teams that we are definitely going to keep our eye on, especially as they move around and play teams not in the division.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be kind of a slugfest when they're playing in division teams. These Minnesota teams are playing each other when they play the River Kings.
You betcha.
The real trick is going to be who can win games when they go to the Northeast, when they go to the South, and play these teams that play different styles of hockey. Can they adapt? Can they overcome with what these teams are throwing at them? Because as you move later into the season, you get more of an opportunity to see what these guys are doing and try to adapt. So whoever can be successful outside the division is going to end up winning that division in the long run.
Good answer, Lucas. Again, he's running for governor of Minnesota apparently, so he does not want to give any incorrect answers there. But again, I mean, you look at the Ox, Brady Boudreau and Josh Grooney in net. Is Brady Boudreau 6-0-1. Grooney is 7-1-0. The only difference between the two of them is an extra win and a shootout loss or a regulation loss. Two gentlemen that have just been very, very stellar in net, very even in net. They could go either way. Boudreau with the 2.31 goals against, Grooney with the 2.12 goals against. These guys, you could throw anybody in net. The coach can close his eyes and throw a dart at the board and pick his goaltender, and he's going to put up a good game. He's going to give up 2 or less. Very strong start for the Blue Ox. It's going to be exciting to see what happens in the Midwest, but even more exciting, is it time to lift the embargo?
I think so, Dan.
Lifting that embargo. New Jersey Hitman 16U Futures interview coming at you now. Hey, Dan K Show fans, we are here with some victors today. Let's go, gentlemen. Let's hear it. We are here live on site from the Tri-Town Ice Arena in beautiful New Hampshire with the Jersey Hitmen 16U Futures squad who just took home a W. Coach, can I see you real quick? Coach, these guys have been pretty big fans of the show. They've chased us around. Yeah. We've talked to a lot of these guys now, some characters on the squad. How fun is it to coach this team?
No, it was very enjoyable. They work hard. You know, it was evident in our victory this morning, and there's definitely some characters in this room.
Now talk about it here. You know, big win today. Mm-hmm. Only 9 shots allowed on net. Talk about the team effort that it takes to put up that kind of a showing out in the ice.
Yeah, we stress, all 3 zones and minimizing the amount of shots on goal against, and usually we're going to come out victorious if we can keep the shots down.
Rest of the weekend, what's the outlook here? Who do you guys have to play next?
Who do we have next? We have the Rockets. The Rockets tomorrow morning. Come all the way to New Hampshire to play the Jersey Rockets.
A little New Jersey battle in New Hampshire.
But no, they're a strong team, so it'll be a good battle.
Can't wait, Coach. Let's go talk to some of your players here. We're going to wander around. Gentlemen, who's first here? Who's first? Who's the MVP? Come on, this guy had 2 goals today. 2 goals today. Bring it up. Bring it up. We've talked before. I'm getting tangled up in my mic. Sir, talk about the effort today from the team. 2-goal game, correct? Yeah. 2-goal game. How do you put up 2 goals in a game? Is it a team effort?
It's a team effort. The assist he started the play, so big thanks to the people who get the assists,
Big thanks to the people who get the assists. Lucas, you have a question for this young man.
Yeah, well, we were talking about before, I'm all about the assists. So, my question to you is, would you rather have a 2-goal game or a 2-assist game?
Probably 2-assist game.
2-assist game. Simple. Good guy. Let's hear it for him. Come on. That is a good guy right there. Sir, what's the goal here the rest of the weekend? You guys got the New Jersey Rockets, little New Jersey battle. Talk about playing these guys on some unfamiliar ice out here in New Hampshire.
We're going to have to bring it. They're a good team, but we're even a better team. We're going to bring them. We're going to be ready to play against them.
They're going to be ready to play. Let's move on. Where's this Tendy? Come on up here, sir. Come on up. So we talked about it. 9 shots on goal today. You stop them all, right? Talk about the struggle of not seeing the volume. A lot of times as a goalie, the lack of volume can kind of get in your head there. You can kind of have some lapses in judgment, right? You can let some by. How do you stay in it the whole way through there?
You got to try to stay warm in that, That's basically...
Hey, I try to stay warm too. That's why I wear many layers when I come out to the ice. The ice is cold. Now, Lucas, guy puts up a shutout. I'm sure you have a question for a defensive-minded goaltender here.
Oh, yeah. What's the mental preparation for you like before a game? Because like he was saying, there's some intense focus going on back there.
Every game, drink water, then I throw my ball against the wall a little bit, and then basically stretch, get loose,
This is how you got to realize, folks. you see these guys. You listen to Derek Stepan do an interview with the Coyotes right now, and you're like, man, this guy, it's so simplified. He never gives a detailed answer because hockey's a simple game, and this young man has just proven that. Throw the ball, stretch. Got to stay hydrated. You got to drink water. If you don't bring water out in the ice, let the ice melt a little bit. You'll drink it halfway through the period. You could definitely get some water out of it. Last question here. Talk about you got two tendies here. It looks like you guys have some fun. Talk about the goaltender bond. You know, we all know all these other guys skating around doing their thing. Forget them. We know goaltenders have a special bond. Talk about the bond between the goaltenders here.
Well, we're like best buds right here.
Come on. That is what it's about. Best buds.
Exactly.
Would you agree with that? Would you agree?
Most definitely.
Most definitely. He said most definitely. Give him a hug. Let's see a goaltender hug here. These guys are friends. These guys are winners. Gentlemen, I want to take a vote. We got one last interview we can do here. Who gets the last interview? Who gets it? Oh! We've got, gentlemen, both of you come up. We're doing a double interview. Let's go. Hug it out. Hockey love here.
Can I just tell you that his screensaver is a selfie between the two of you, his lock screen? I just thought that was...
Folks at home, that's a number one fan right there. I'm a little verklempt. Talk amongst you. Lucas, take the mic.
I got you. Dan sometimes gets a little emotional.
I just want to make sure you knew that. I thought that was...
Yeah, no, he's going to be useless for a few minutes there. So you guys, we both came a long way just to meet up in New Hampshire. We're from Wayne. You guys are based in Wayne, but
could have just done this 5 minutes away from home.
Yeah, we could have just met up in Wayne, back in New Jersey. But what is the practicing regimen for you guys like? Because we're noticing there's a lot of organization. The play on the ice is very tight. So what's practice like for you guys?
It's awesome. It's like we go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, boxing, lifting, yoga, and lift. We love to lift. And I think we get the ice for an hour and 15, hour and a half every week, so it's fun.
And we practice with the elite team most days, so that pushes us, being with some of the guys on that team who are, even 18, and we're 15, so that pushes us a lot when we do the drills before we split up. So good, intense practices every week, every time we go to the rink.
Dan, are you okay now? Are you back to...
I think I've regrouped. Talk about it. You say 15 years of age, right? First of all, great on the mic. Everybody here, you listen to all these guys, not afraid to be on the mic, not afraid to public speak. That doesn't just talk about you guys. It talks about the organization, talks about what your coaches are doing, preparing you guys for the next level. That's what hockey's all about here at this age. 15 years of age. What's the future for you guys? What's the future in the hockey game?
We all want to play college hockey, I think. I think that's why we're all working hard every day, busting our butts in the gym, focusing in yoga, busting our butts on the ice, in boxing, We all got one goal. We have goals as a team, but individually I think we all want to play college hockey, so.
Yeah. Sure you'd agree with that?
Everything you just said, yeah. The build right on top of that is we all want to play the next level.
Everybody wants to play at the next level. These guys take it to the next level each and every time out. Every time I see these guys play, there's a W put up on the board. The Hitmen keep winning. These guys, they're going to be aging up. You're going to see them for years to come. This is why we do this, folks. You better keep watching these gentlemen right here, this Jersey Hitmen team, the future of hockey, USPHL future of hockey. Gentlemen, 5-0 win today. Big time W. Keep bringing them home. Keep bringing them home. This has been Dan K. We'll be back with more after this. We got to shout out Jake. Is it still live? This we can put into the credit. Jake Auerbach. Jake. Shout out Jake Auerbach. I'm a screensaver on a phone.
And
Devin Garnett. Kevin Garnett as well of the Boston Celtics, former NBA player Kevin Garnett. Thank you, Kevin Garnett. You had a great career. 20 years in the NBA, guys. Let's hear for Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett. You too, Paul Pierce. All right. I think that's it. We've had fun. This has been fun. Jersey Hitmen, big W today.
We love you, Dan.
That was a pretty good interview, Dan.
Pretty incredible interview, and I'm glad that I fought so hard to get it on the air.
That's right. He wouldn't shut up about it. No, I'm joking, of course. We always try to get to. We have so many interviews that it's tough to get to them, and we try to throw them in when they seem appropriate. So there you go. There's your Hitmen interview. But now it's time to wrap around the Elite Division. We're going to start with Elite Florida. Tampa Bay Juniors at 21 points. Palm Beach Hawks and Florida Eels hot on their trail. That division being separated by only a few points, pretty up for grabs at this point in the season. The Elite Mid-Atlantic, you've got Jersey boys with the top two spots. The Jersey Hitmen at 10-3-1, 23 points. New Jersey Rockets blasting off into second place, 8-5-4 with 20 points. Hartford Junior Wolfpack just behind them, 8-6-1 with 17 points. Another close division as we head into the corner point of the season. Going to the Elite North, on top of that division with a 6-point lead, is the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs at 15-3-0 with 30 points. And then behind them are two teams from Boston, two teams that I was pretty excited to watch compete this year. The Boston Bandits at 12-6-0 with 24 points, and the Junior Bruins at 9-2-2 with 20 points so far on the season. Rounding out the Elite Division is the Elite Southwest. Great hockey coming out of that division. You have the Charlotte Rush and Hampton Roads Whalers battling it out for first place. The Rush at 15-3-0 with 30 points, and the Whalers at 13-2-1 with 27 points. And just behind them, fighting for third place, Richmond Generals and Carolina Eagles with 20 points and 18 points, respectively.
Lucas, you said West. I think you meant East. Southeast Division there. You know, that's something that I always have to reference Patrick Star every chance I can get. SpongeBob. Those of you at home who haven't watched SpongeBob, go back to that episode. It's very good when they have to find a treasure and they go off and Patrick messes up the directions because on the compass he thought they said to go west.
Oh.
But they meant east. Of course it's west at home. Moving on, I'm going to go to the wraparound here with the top scorers in the Elite Division. Goal leaders, you've got Ryan Racy, who is racing to the top of the leaderboard here with 22 goals for the New Hampshire Junior Monarchs. Following him up there is Eric Steves from the Boston Bandits, who has stolen 19 goals this year. Get it? He's a bandit. Next up, we're going to the assist leaders, and that's Vlad Pavlov, another Monarch, leading the way. This time, 27 assists. This young man's got 5 goals, 27 assists. He loves to be involved in the scoring game. Really, really loves it. Moving behind him is Eddie Corvelli from the Jersey Hitmen, and if there is not a name better for the Hitmen than Eddie Corvelli, I've never heard one. Love the name, love the player. I watched this guy play when we were in Jersey. Impeccable, stupendous, incredible. Do not have enough describing words for the action on the ice that this man puts together. 19 assists for Eddie Corvelli. As quick as a Corvette out there is Corvelli. Moving to the points, you got Ryan Racy leading the way. 22 goals, 18 assists for 40 points. Way ahead of the next guy. Next guy is Vlad Pavlov, his teammate. 5 goals, 27 assists, 32 points. Following that up is Chris Conway of the Jersey Hitmen, Jared Stevenson from the New Hampshire Monarchs, and Alex Robinson from the Carolina Eagles, who all have identical 15, 12, 27 splits there. Big time performances in Elite. It's been fun to watch. We're going to continue watching it. We're even going to be bringing the Empty Net, where Lucas, the Empty Net's here. It's our favorite section of the show. It's our favorite segment. It's time to talk Twitter. And to finish my sentence now on my thought, we might be doing some play-by-play on Elite, Premier, and NCDC action. So if you're one of these Elite players or fans or parents or teams that were listening to this, you might just be able to watch your team get play-by-play done by us this Sunday at the Islanders Hockey Club Showcase here. The little bit of fun out there at the Islanders Hockey Club.
That's right. And if you're not one of those people and you've just accidentally stumbled onto the show and you said, who are these two guys and what are they talking about? Go get a Hockey TV subscription and check out the USPHL games this weekend, because you'll get to hear our voices break those games down.
You've got play-by-play announcer Dan K on the mic bringing you the play-by-play. Lucas Jones breaking down the action, getting into it, telling you just what's happening, why it's happening, how it's happening, and what's going to happen next. He's a good predictor of the future. He's very good at picking who's going to score in games. This guy is top-notch. Lucas, empty net time though. Let's go into the Twitter talk. Remember, tweet to us. Talk here, Lucas. Who tweeted us?
We got 2 big tweets this weekend. Two Twitter users who were really involved this weekend. Koka Yusuf, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Referenced you earlier.
Tweeted to us asking us for Moose Talk. He said, are you watching these games this weekend? You should do a breakdown and analysis of the show. We wanted to do it on last week's show. Unfortunately, we filmed it a little too early to include that. That's why we wanted to break it down for you this week. But we're glad that you tweeted at us. Keep letting us know when big games are happening. And then, of course, Nasty sent us a few Twitter comments, tweets, messages, posts,
Bird calls.
Bird calls as well.
Remember, that's the bird clock, which is our favorite portion of the show because we have a bird clock in the studio. So every once in a while, you'll hear it on the show. When you do, tweet to us, #birdclock, and you will get mentioned on next week's show. But keep going, Lucas.
And he tweeted at us and he said, why don't we see some more predictions? And he was kind of getting on our case a little bit about the predictions that, well, not we made, I made. Dan took a Twitter break this weekend. So if you saw the tweets this weekend, that was 110% me. And of course, I got a few things wrong. But I will try to be better next week. Keep tweeting at us at @Dan K Show. You can follow us on Instagram as well. And if you're not following us on Facebook, search for The Dan K Show. We will come up. You'll see our two faces, and the whole page will be dedicated to The Dan K Show, which lets you know you're at the right spot.
USPHL hockey coming at you here. We are getting deep into the season now. We are starting to dig into it. Rivalries are shaping up. Players are hitting hard, goals are scoring, goaltenders are stopping them. It's getting to that point in the year where it starts to get real fun. Your blood starts to flow here. You start to have a lot of fun with it. We'll be at the IHC showcase. We're going to be heading out to Florida in December. Balmy, warm, beautiful Florida for some hockey in December. We're going to be all over the place. Keep your eyes out for the Dan K Show. Remember, tweet to us. And with this month in mind, it's Movember. It's No Shave November. Players, parents, fans, coaches, teams. If you are celebrating Movember or No Shave November, please tweet to us at the Dan K Show so we can show it, so we can get it on the air. We'll put the pictures up on the show. We'll critique. We'll score you best mustache, best no shave combo. We'll talk about it all. Remember, all flow team this year. If you ever have pictures of the best flow throughout the league, tweet to us #all flow team. Tweet at the Dan K Show. We're happy to talk, and if you're going to tweet to us, also follow us. Follow the Dan K Show. Like us on Facebook. Keep watching. We know you are. We see the views each and every week in the comments. We love it. Keep the comments coming. Dan K, Lucas Jones. Lucas, parting words. Nothing needed. That's it. Sums it up. Remember, keep an eye out for us, and if you can't make it to the event, turn on Hockey TV and listen to our beautiful voices as I tickle the airwaves with mine as play-by-play announcer, Lucas Jones color commentary on this weekend's game, Sunday afternoon. Saturday will be all around the event, getting video, footage, photography, everything you can think of. Dan K alongside Lucas Jones. Remember, when Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night.
Question for you.
Yeah, answers.
You have the Finnish pair?
Finish him.
Did you say one of those guys was from Sweden?
Oh, the middle guy was from Sweden because I read the names in the wrong order.
Okay.
So there was two Finnish guys, but like you ever hear of Ron Burgundy and how he reads everything that's on the prompter? Mm-hmm. I had the Swedish guy in the middle. What I meant to do was go Sweden. Sweden.
I would have hoped that you know that Sweden is not Finland. But
No, Sweden isn't Finland, but it is Switzerland, right?
No.
No, it is not, and I knew that this whole time.
You ever hear that Finland conspiracy?
Which one?
Finland doesn't actually exist?
Well, I do know that Norway doesn't exist.
Is it Norway?
Is it Finland? Scandinavia.
Maybe all of Scandinavia doesn't exist.
Basically any Scandinavian nation.
So it's just Europe and America and I think Russia? Because you can see it from Alaska.
I can see Russia from Alaska. I've seen Russia from
So it's
Alaska
just that.
before.
It's just those three.
Yeah, basically.
Close enough.
Anybody who plays hockey.
Yeah, that's true.